Okay, let's get started on the solenoid replacement and the trickle start installation. So before we get started, we must disconnect power from 3 locations. So let's do that right now. So the first one is the chassis battery disconnect, or sometimes I refer to this as the starter battery. And so this is, underneath the driver foot area where the gas pedal is, and you just push this red thing down and it pulls right out. And now leave that off to the side. That disconnects the ground from the battery. Next, we need to disconnect shore power. So here I've got this plugged in. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect that. And finally, under the step is where my batteries are. So I've got 2 6-volt batteries. So I've got the positive and negative tied together. Since I've got these installed in series, and so I disconnect the ground here. Leave that disconnected, and you'll need to remove this front passenger seat to get to where the solenoid is at, which is a really convenient place to put the trickle start, since you have both the house batteries and the chassis batteries coming together at the same place. So you'll need to take these 4 bolts off, one on each corner. It's an E14 socket to do that. If you don't have that, I've read that the 7/16 works just fine, and it seems like it would work, but I just use that. Okay, we are looking under the passenger seat of my Winnebago View 2015, and I just made 2 changes. Got some excellent help and information in the View Navian motorhome group that I'm in on Facebook, and I thought I'd make a quick video to just show kind of the changes I made. So first, I replaced this solenoid. So this is the original, and many people have had problems with it. It allows you to basically connect your chassis battery and your house battery in the case that, say, your starting chassis battery goes dead. But if that goes bad, the alternator on the engine won't charge the house batteries. So I wasn't having problems with mine, but while I'm under here, I just changed it out. So basically, so the wires from here, you just transfer them down to here on the new one. And if you are adding a trickle start, the blue lead goes to that post as well. And right on the trickle start, it says the blue wire goes to the starting battery. So that makes sense. So this is the starting battery here. Then, on your old solenoid, this is the signal wire, was here. And so then that goes to one of the 2 small posts. It actually doesn't matter which one. I think one of them will become ground and one will become signal. So I just went, the next one over, I went the signal wire, which was this yellow wire, and there was also this like white to some kind of like black thing, like looks like a heat shrink with something under it, and then so I put that on there. Then this, you see, this only has 3 total posts. This was grounded. This is grounded internally with the bracket and the case, whereas this Cole Hersey one, it wants to be grounded directly on this third post over. So what I did was, the old one had these white wires that were going to the bracket. There's 2 white wires that are going to the bracket, and you can simply move those. Those white wires, believe it or not, are actually were providing ground to the bracket on this old solenoid. So we move those here. And then while I'm at it, I throw on the black wire for the trickle start. And if you look at the trickle start case, it says the black wire goes to ground. That's easy enough. Then coming back here, you see this last post here goes to the other battery, so that went to the house batteries, and you can see all I did was move them down to there. but then I added the yellow wire for the trickle start. And if you look at the case of the trickle start, it says yellow wire goes to house battery. And that's really all there is to it. I spent so much time just reading all the various pictures that had been annotated in the comments, and it was super helpful. And then once it clicked for me, there's probably a pun there with the solenoid, right? Clicked. Once it clicked for me, I figured I'm just going to record a video that just describes. So I moved this down to there, added the blue wire for the trickle start. I moved this down to the next post. Then I moved, and then I moved the white grounds that were back, I think, on this bracket to the third one over. Added the trickle start black wire for the ground. Then I moved this post down to here, and I added the yellow wire for trickle start. Now let's say you weren't replacing this. So you weren't replacing this solenoid, and you were going to use the stock one. Well, that's easy. And let's say all you're doing here is you're just adding the trickle start. Well, then you would just, blue wire would go here, because that is the starting battery. You would do nothing with this one for the trickle start. And then you would add the yellow trickle start here, which is the house battery. And then you would ground it back here where the ground wire was. But while you're doing that, you might as well swap in this really nice Cole Hersey. Oh, last thing. I just zip tied the trickle start here. I didn't want to drill through the a lot of people put it here, I think. Some people will tuck it back here. You can drill a hole here and put a little grommet if you want it to be accessible. I didn't really see the need for that right now. I could always do that later. I don't foresee myself checking on it too often. Hope that helps. Happy trails.